This is Kim Meyer, host of Choose to Rise. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hello everybody, it's No Filter Friday on Public House Media, and again, I am cursed with flat water. Once again, I've really got to get some sparkling and tea situation going here. It's for the betterment of the show. Maybe not necessarily my hydration, but for the betterment of the show, and that's what really matters. Anyway, because in this format, I can't take a second to share the show, so maybe you can take a second to share the show, please and thank you. And I hope it sounds okay, because it is so loud out there, I cannot even explain it in words, and I'm hoping that this does the trick. I was going to switch to one of my other lapel mics, but then it would be clipped down here, and I feel like this might be a little bit closer, so we're gonna rock with this, and hopefully it sounds okay and it doesn't sound like there's an incredible amount of demolition going on, and hopefully a pigeon doesn't fly in. Sounds all right. Okay, I can work with that. If you're coming in, leave me a comment please so I can see who you are, because it doesn't just tell me off tops in this format. So sad. So sad. And that's why I do this show live, so we can have this conversation. I did my nails yesterday, and I didn't do a good job. Did a terrible job. I need to get better at this. Anyway, we're finally going to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell today. Why? Because we've been meaning to get around to it, but a couple things have happened with her case. If you remember, I think many shows ago at this point, we talked about how the prosecutors were trying to get this deposition that she did a few years back from this case between her and Virginia Guff, which is her, main accuser. And she said, oh no, it's problematic. It shouldn't be unsealed. There's minor children's privacy involved and blah, 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 blah. Every excuse in the book, and then some excuses, to be fair, that weren't in the book. They were brand new legal strategy. Or brand new audacity. Either way, whichever way you want to look at it. Sometimes those things are one and the same. Maybe in this case it was. So, as it turns out, they were able to unseal this deposition that she gave years ago in this case. And unfortunately, it wasn't nearly as juicy as her defense had made it out to be, like it was some big brouhaha. Or maybe they were going to have some sort of Elle Woods moment where it's well, why did you wash your hair? Would it deactivate the ammonium glycolate? And you would have curls right now, Linda Cardellini. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Because on top of her, abuse charges and child endangerment and all that jazz, she has 2 counts of perjury, which on most cases, they don't really care about perjury that much, especially in family court, but in criminal court, they care. Especially when you're trying to nail somebody to the wall, they definitely care about perjury. So that's kind of the big get here. I think that, again, very Elle Woods. It's very Enrique is gay. Gay men no shoes, straight men don't. So I think there's some sort of chess being played between the prosecution and the unsealing of this deposition and all that jazz. Now, the real tea is the real fun. Well, hang on. Let's talk about this deposition for a second. Calm your tea. Calm the tea down. We'll get to it. So in this deposition, she swears up and down that she never gave anybody a massage ever. Hashtag ever. She's never given anyone a massage, not herself a massage, not another person a massage, not Jeffrey Epstein a massage. Nobody. Nobody has gotten a massage from her. That is in her deposition. And they asked her again, is that your testimony? Yes, it's my testimony. Okay, cool. So I'm seeing a setup here because nobody asks a witness a question that they don't already know the answer to. So for them to have her answer that over and over and over again, seems like the game, in my opinion. Now, okay, fine. She's never given anybody a massage. And then they asked her if she knew if Jeffrey Epstein had any sex toys, and she said, no, I have no idea, which seems like an up or down question, but okay. And then she was also asked if, what was the question? Oh, if she knew about Jeffrey Epstein having sex with anybody besides her or two other women between 1994 and 1997, because that's the time period that they're looking at currently, as of right now. And she said, no, I have no idea, I have no clue. To which the entire court side-eyed and said, really? So the international woman of mystery has no idea who her longtime man friend has been boning for several years. You have no idea. Interesting, Ghislaine. Interesting. Okay, so now that you have those details out, to me it looks like some sort of a legal setup, because they wouldn't ask these questions if they didn't already know the answer. So that seems like something they're going to nail her to the wall with later. If anything, only for perjury. Which is criminal enough in itself. Now, let's get to the good part, which is her complaints about being in jail. And oh my goodness, are they feel-good complaints. Like, just reading, I mean, go do it yourself, just for the personal satisfaction alone. Go read her list of demands for this jail in Brooklyn. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Like, if you're feeling some type of way, if you need some levity in your life, if you need to feel luxurious for a hot second, go read her list of demands, because, ooh, are they delectable. Now, her lawyers are making this big case about how she's being mistreated and abused, and she needs more access to a laptop so she can better prepare for her defense. I don't know how you defend yourself against perjury. If you said it then and you're lying now, or you're lying then and you said it now, like, you can't defend that. That's what court records are for. It's the stenographer. That's their whole job. It's catching your behind in lies. That's their whole job. Their whole job. So, her lawyers are making this big brouhaha, and it's very dramatic. It's very, very dramatic about how she's withering away to a shell of her former self. I'm quoting withering directly. That she's losing weight, and she's losing hair, and she's losing sleep, and all of the blah, 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 blah. She's losing her ability to concentrate. What do you need to concentrate on? You're in jail. Look at the wall. You can't concentrate on the wall in front of you? Because that's all you got. And they said that the guards have abused her, and that this is my personal favorite, that she was forced to scrub the shower. The audacity rolls both ways, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So her long-running complaint, besides, having to clean the shower, is that the food is just not edible. And, it's a jail. It might not be. And it's a jail where everyone hates you. So I would imagine it's not going to be very good. So her main complaint for the food is that they microwave her food in like plastic containers that weren't supposed to go in the microwave. So it either doesn't defrost it and it's still frozen, or it like melts the plastic in it and she can't eat it. And I just can't say that I care. I certainly don't. And then she said that she's always requested, because like there's a camera in her cell, and she's always requested that it record when the guards are there, and they're like, no, we don't care, which is also, I think, kind of funny. But it's so interesting how she wanted her deposition of words that she said sealed from years ago from a different case. But now she wants transparency with cameras and this, that, and the other thing with the guards. Interesting, because she's afraid of being abused. Well, Ghislaine, that's kind of what you're in jail for, is abusing other people, so you can dish it out, but you can't take it? That's so weird. That's so strange. I thought you were into this. I thought this was your jam. I thought that's what you got your rocks off to. Were we misinformed? Were we lied to? Gosh, I don't think so. I was told that this was your jam, that abuse was your thing. What happened to that? So they're making her defense is making this big song and dance to the judge about how she needs to have more access to a laptop to better ready herself for defense, and she needs to be moved 50 feet down the hall, out of solitary confinement. And I guess they're alleging that because they're always spending their time trying to get her suitable food and less security. I guess she's had 1,400 contraband checks since she's been in jail, which, again, I mean, chef kisses on that one. Chef kiss, and she never has any contraband, which is good, but I mean, just keep checking, you know. You never know what can happen. And then apparently every 15 minutes at night, from 9:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., the guards shine a flashlight on her ceiling, you know, to make sure she didn't hang herself or nothing. And, it wakes her up at night and she doesn't get a restful night's sleep. And I just wonder if any of the people that were brought to, Pedo Island via the Lolita Express or any other means, to be toys for Prince Andrew or the Clintons or whoever, or herself, I wonder if they sleep at night well. I wonder if they get restful sleep. I really, really wonder about that. I would dare to venture to say probably not. Probably not. But you know what? You know who is sleeping really, really well? Really, really well these days? Is Jeffrey Epstein himself. So, maybe this all makes sense in the end. Possibly. So, her defense is alleging that, because they're constantly spending all their time trying to change her conditions and make a case and blah, 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 blah. And they're doing a terrible job at it. I mean, they're trying to elicit sympathy for a woman who does not deserve sympathy. They need to go with some harder facts here because none of us care. And I highly doubt the judge cares either. I'm sure the prison warden doesn't care. I don't think anyone cares, especially after these shenanigans happen with Jeffrey Epstein and his body. So, I don't. The audacity, the word audacity just does not cover it. If there's a word in another language that's like higher than audacity, that really captures the essence of what's going on here, please let me know. I would love to share it because I feel like we're being limited by the English language at this point of how incredulous these complaints are of like, do you really think this helps your case, lady? To be like, oh, I'm a socialite. The food in here is just terrible. Yeah, man, it's jail. It's terrible. You never thought you were going to end up there? You thought that you were going to get away with this stuff forever and ever and ever and ever and ever? Then why do you have so many accusers? Why? Why? I just can't. And like, it's very, I mean, I think for sure Ghislaine Maxwell is our favorite inmate on the show, hands down, bar none. But it kind of reminds me about how Harvey Weinstein was whining about, oh, my health, and oh, the humiliation, and oh, I'm so embarrassed, and oh, I've lost everything. Like, dude, you're not helping yourself. Keep the crime and the wine to yourself, because you're not. Nobody feels bad for you, man. You're not eliciting any sympathy, and you're certainly not going to win any brownie points in the jail or with the prison warden or with the judge. Like, just zip it. Zip it. You plead the fifth on everything else. This is just a different form of incriminating yourself. Stop doing it. Stop. Stop it. Or don't, and I'll just have more things to talk about on this show. So, I have another article about, a child porn problem that came across my desk, and it's really, really, really horrific, as all of this stuff is horrific, but it's kind of Epstein-esque, actually. However, everybody's been asking about talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, which is something that we've been meaning to do, and now that this deposition has been unsealed, we're actually able to do it. So I don't want to take away from the Ghislaine Maxwell situation by talking about this other thing, because we do need to talk about it. I just don't think we should do it in the same episode, so we will tack that on to next week, barring nothing crazy happened, or alternatively, I will do a special bonus episode about it, because is it wild? Also, I have a guest coming up that I can maybe discuss it with her, because she is a, I don't want to call her an interrogator because that sounds so terrible, but basically when kids come in to the law enforcement situation in her area that have been abused or sexually abused, most of the time sexually abused, she's the one that interviews them and does their intake and gets all the evidence and blah, 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 blah. So, hi, Roger. So, rancorous, okay. That's our new word for Ghislaine Maxwell and all these jail complaints. I dig it. Thank you, Roger. You're so wonderful. So, that's one of the two things that we'll do that came in about this whole child porn situation. And we will talk about that in either a bonus episode where we talk about it by itself, or we'll tack it on to a guest who really, really, really knows what they're talking about as it pertains to the proclivities of these predators, particularly of the child variety. So I will see you all next week. Hopefully, nothing too crazy will happen, and we'll just have a show that's maybe slightly less audacity and slightly less rancorous is our new word. And I will see you all next week. Check out other shows on Public House Media that are not nearly as dark and dirty and disgusting as this one. Like Choose to Rise is always a good one. I think that show is also on Fridays. And I will see you all next week. Bye.